Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, getting some more Season 13 Go Battle League battles with another newly updated mon from the recent Go Battle League move update, that being Shadow Moltres. Yes, Shadow Moltres, even though, wasn't shown on the banner for the update, was one of the moves that benefited from the wing attack buff. Wing attack generating more energy now gives Shadow Moltres a little bit more play in some Great League Remix battles, and boy oh boy, today I put together quite the collection of battles where it was popping off. It's the classiest of cannons. As you can see there though, Ada Grass not pretty well, but only because that was double resisted. So our goal is to run it in the lead ABB format where our backline is weak to fighting, but the Shadow Moltres will cover that fighting weakness with a fast move of wing attack and charge moves of sky attack, and then ancient power. Maybe get a little 10% ancient power boost to give it some defense while improving its already high attack stat. So if you're excited for this content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump into these battles. Now, Shadow Moltres you were only able to get it like a while ago now because of the Giovanni, the rotations, and we had Mewtwo recently. Well, a long time ago in the beginning, we got access to Shadow Moltres, and when you got it, it was a relatively low CP where you would be able to power it up and essentially run it at the Great League level, which is exactly what we're doing here, which you may be wondering how I got it. I don't know when Shadow Moltres may ever come back, but you know what? If you have one, I had quite a bit of fun with it in these battles, and I highly recommend testing it out. Maybe not necessarily for some winning success, but definitely for some content, because as you can see, that Night Slash did quite the chunk of damage to our Shadow Moltres, but we're getting off a Sky Attack. Boom. Also, one thing to note, Sky Attack, legacy charge move. You have to elite TM it to get it. It was available in raids for a specific period of time. Another Sky Attack, Moltres getting the shield, popping off in the lead scenario, beating the obs, we can get a little farm down, and then threatening the Vigoroth. Now the problem is our back line does not really want to see Vigoroth all that badly, so we got to come in with Steelix. We're going to spam some Psychic Fangs, go for the guaranteed defense debuff, get in some Dragon Tails, hope our opponent throws on bad timing, hope our opponent decides to bulldoze so we can call it, because at the very least we resist the body slam, so that helps, and bulldoze is such a bad move that it takes Vigoroth quite a few counters to even get there. I'm going to get off another Psychic Fangs here, but they swapped and caught on their Steelix, but we're in a good spot regardless because we have our own legitimate answer to Steelix here in the form of Obstagoon. And unlike Vigoroth, Obstagoon can get to some charge moves that hit Steelix pretty hard a lot faster. So we're going to get off a cross shot for some super effective damage, counter down the Steelix, expecting the Vigoroth to come in, and this match is essentially over. We could throw the cross shot, but they have a shield, so all we really need to do is commit to the counter down, which is exactly what we're going to do. They're going to save that shield for Season 14. Even though we're barely into Season 13. Getting into this next one, we have Shadow Moltres on a Whiscash lead, and Whiscash being a water type, you might think to yourself, this is a bad lead matchup, but surprisingly, it's not, because Whiscash's fast and charge moves compose of Mud Shot as a fast move ground type, Mud Bomb, and then it takes all the way up to a Blizzard for Whiscash to even hit for some neutral damage. We singular resist the Mud Bombs because of our flying typing, even though we have our fire typing there. So we're able to tank two of those very comfortably, go for a wing attack, farm down, and just fall one short before they're able to get off another Mud Bomb. But at the very least, we get off we get the farm down still. We leave that scenario with double moves loaded, get off an Ancient Power, gets a Noctowl, get that shield back, another Ancient Power coming through, gonna hit the Noctowl for some super effective damage. That's about half its health, and that's Ancient Power. Ancient Power was recently buffed though. Was it this season, the previous season? One of these past 2 seasons, so it does do a little bit more damage these days, but still not really a heavy hitting charge move to say the least. So the fact that I was able to do half of a Noctowl's entire health is quite impressive. We then come in with a super hard answer for the Noctowl in the form of our Steelix, doing a bunch of Dragon Tail damage. They're going to land the Shadow Ball here. We're going for the Dragon Tail farm down. They don't get off another charge move. Steelix is staying alive and healthy, and this match is essentially GG because their last mon is a Frostlass. Gonna Psychic Fangs debuff it, go for a Crunch now that we debuff them for some massive super effective damage. Also, we have Obstagoon in the back. That does not take out, but we're going to now go for another charge move. Honestly, at this point, I should have just went for another Crunch. I don't even think the Psychic Fangs takes out. It doesn't, so we need another Dragon Tail there. It looked like they finally saw that that match was over, and we're about to quit. but we took them out with the Dragon Tail either way. Getting to this next matchup, we have what looks like a positive lead, but isn't that great of a lead for Shadow Moltres, and that was Steelix. They swapped out right away, expecting us to be dealing a bunch of super effective fire damage, which is not even a single typing of a move that we're even running on our Moltres. So them running away, we don't completely mind it. We're happy we're able to get off 2 charge moves here, going for our second Sky Attack. I think our first one, oh yeah, we got both of their shields, which is even crazier. Now we want to come in with Steelix. I did not realize how much they were able to overfarm against my Moltres in that lead scenario, so I let this move come through because they threw it so fast, and now I'm essentially just going to sack the Steelix because I really don't even want to shield this Night Slash coming through. I'm hopeful I'll survive it. I do just barely survive. We get out the Psychic Fangs. I'm expecting to die to the Wing Attack. And that just snuck through from us throwing our charge move, but we don't die, so then they get off another one, which is super unfortunate, but I should still be able to counter down before they get to an Earthquake, so we can let this resisted Night Slash on Obstagoon come through. The question is, can Obstagoon sweep the Steelix and whatever their last mon is? Now, the concern and the problem is, even though Steelix is not going to be able to deal a bunch of damage to our Obstagoon, they're going to be able to throw a bunch of Psychic Fangs damage, and even though it's double resisted, it's going to debuff the heck out of our Obstagoon's health. So we don't shield it, but these Dragon Tails are slowly adding up. They have a Pelipper in the back, and we need to boost with a Night Slash, and we just cannot get a boost to save our lives. Going for another Night Slash here. Can we get it 3rd time's a charm, even though it's supposed to be 1 in 8 odds? And no, we do not. So the Pelipper is throwing 2 charge moves here. I think that's essentially a mistake on their part. I think they just need to commit to a fast move, farm down. But even with this mistake, I'm not in a great situation regardless. So we're going to double shield up here. We're trying to over farm without taking too much more Wing Attack damage because the Steelix is going to come through and deal some Dragon Tail damage onto our Obstagoon that is already debuffed. And unfortunately, we're going to fall a couple counters short of our cross chop that could have potentially won us the game. Getting into the next matchup, we have a Moltres on an Abomasnow lead. Abomasnow runs away, understandably, because you would expect fire damage, even though I have none. We throw the Ancient Power and then dip to our Steelix. I was hoping for an Ancient Power boost, because then we could have potentially had a little Moltres sweep action. But Steelix is going to be our best option against this Mantine, because even though it can deal super effective Bubble Beam damage, the only other damage it can deal is neutral Ice Beam. So essentially, we're going to counteract their debuffing Bubble Beams with some defense debuffing Psychic Fangs. And hopefully get to another charge move here. They're going to get off another move here. Should be the Ice Beam. Steelix is too thick though. And on top of that, the Mantine doesn't even get stabbed on Ice Beam. We're going for the Crunch, hoping it'll take out. It does not, because we're still debuffed like 1 stage below their 1 stage below what they debuffed us attack wise, or we debuff them defense-wise. You know, we're 1 stage apart, so it didn't do enough damage, essentially. And now we're really not in a good spot here because that Gliscor boosted. Now, can I play my way out of this? That is the question. We're hoping, even with a boosted Gliscor here, that the Wing Attacks will not take out our Steelix. We're going to get out the Psychic Fangs. We don't want to reveal our last mon. We at least get their last shield, but the problem is they're going to be able to Wing Attack us down. We have to be weary of an Earthquake from the Gliscor onto our Obstagoon. I think I tried, oh no, I call the Earthquake. They bait us. I forgot what play because I had a couple Obstagoon on Gliscor matches here. We shielded the bait, unfortunately, but they do not get to another charge move, and we're able to line up the Abomasnow with our Obstagoon, and the Abomasnow tries to swap out and catch a charge move, and they fail. They go for another charge move here, being the Weather Ball, and that ends up being a huge mistake on their part, because energy-wise, they should have gotten to an Energy Ball, and that would have taken out our Obstagoon, but because they throw a Weather Ball, we survive, get to 2 cross chops, and we're able to pull this match on the brink of failure because the Gliscor boosted. That was quite stressful. We're able to pull it off. Let's get into the next one. We got Shadow Moltres on the Alolan Raichu lead. Not a good lead whatsoever, but our backline does cover Alolan Raichu, thankfully, but we save swap in the Steelix and they match it with a Diggersby. Diggersby is going to be really tough for Steelix because of the fact that Earthquake will take out a majority of our health, and even their bait move of Fire Punch is going to do super effective damage to us. They expected us to shield, I guess, to attempt to flip switch, so they throw a Fire Punch there. They throw again right away, so this can't be an Earthquake here. We're eating Fire Punches. Thankfully, Steelix is, thick enough. We're going for a Psychic Fangs here to get the debuff on their defense, and then hopefully see if they want to misplay and allow us to get to another Psychic Fangs. They do not. We know we're not going to be able to flip switch in this scenario, so we let the Diggersby take us out, and we want to come back in with Moltres and farm this Diggersby all the way down because we're not really worried about Diggersby damage, so we resist any charge move it would throw. Alolan Raichu comes in. We're going for an Ancient Power. You're going to notice after I throw this Ancient Power, though, that I decided to stay in for a second because I wanted to see if I boosted. So I take an extra Volt Switch there, which is not super ideal, but their last Mon is Ferrothorn, and thanks to Moltres getting the shield that it did, Obstagoon is going to be able to pop off on this opponent's back line of Ferrothorn and Alolan Raichu because of our super effective fighting damage between counter and cross chop and the super effective dark damage that we're going to be able to deal with Night Slash. So we're going for another cross chop here, take out the Ferrothorn's remaining health. They're going to try and commit to a Volt Switch down. We're going to get off a Night Slash here. I made a bit of a misplay, but it's not going to turn out for the worst. It's going to turn out to be fine because I should have overfarmed more in that Obstagoon Ferrothorn matchup. Alolan Raichu is going to get to a couple charge moves here, but Moltres is essentially at another charge move after that wing attack. So we could shield up 2 Thunder Punches because, you know, one of those landing would have taken us out. They're not at a third one. We get off the Ancient Power. This will take out the Alolan Raichu's remaining health. Boom, it's gone. GG's. On to the next match. Moltres with the wing attack buff is spammy of such hard-hitting moves and heavy damage. I really enjoyed being able to throw such heavy damage so fast in these matches. Getting into another matchup, we have Moltres on a whiscash lead. Again, this is a positive lead for us, but we need to call the blizzard or call the bait. Unfortunately, we do not do that, but based on our timing, we play in the CMP twice. We got a shield the first time. The next Sky Attack almost takes out, and because I want to do this for the content, we fully expect this to be the blizzard. We shield it this time. No reason from the bait because they were about to die and they let the Sky Attack come through. We farm all the way down. They come in with a Pelipper. We're hoping to get their last shield, potentially boost, but that's not really going to help us because even boosted Moltres is probably not going to do so hot against a super effective Weather Ball from the Pelipper. So after we do one more wing attack, we swap out, we put the Pelipper onto our Obstagoon. Obstagoon tanks that Hurricane, no problemo. The hope is that we can get off 2 Night Slashes before the Pelipper gets off another Weather Ball, but they decide to then swap into Frostlass. We're going to land a super effective Night Slash here. I'm not exactly sure what the logic was. I guess they wanted to keep Pelipper alive in hopes that Frostlass could take care of the Obstagoon, and it just barely does as we CMP at like 1 HP there, but we're not in a bad spot here because the Frostlass doesn't have a bunch of energy, and we have 2 relatively healthy Mons in the back. We're going to come with Steelix because Steelix can tank an Avalanche quite well. We're going to go for the Dragon Tail farm down. We are slightly worried about the Pelipper having a Weather Ball, so we want to swap into our Moltres to force their energy out. They tried to build the 2 Weather Balls though. We outpace on our Moltres, get off the super effective Ancient Power, and boom, there's a boost. Fantastic timing. Thanks so much, Niantic. Really helpful stuff. On to the next match. We got Moltres on a Dragonite lead, and our opponent makes a fantastic play, knowing that we're going to throw something that's going to hit the Dragonite too hard. They swap and catch on their Empoleon, which is not super ideal. If I would have decided not to throw, could have banked that energy for later. Unfortunately, now though, Moltres has no energy, but we do have a positive matchup with our Obstagoon against their Empoleon. We are going to shield 1 Hydro Cannon, counter all the way down to try to make up the difference of the fact that our Moltres wasted a bunch of energy. The Dragonite throws a charge move. We know it's not superpower based on how much energy they built up before leaving, and also how much health our Obstagoon even has. We throw off a Night Slash. We go for another counter, another Night Slash. This will either take out or get the Dragonite, or get one of the shields from the Dragonite. We get a shield here. They're able to Dragon Breath us down. We cannot come in with Moltres though, because we're going to get our Moltres Dragon Breath all the way down, and then they swap in their Melmetal. We have our Steelix in. They swap in our Melmetal. They don't want to stay in with Dragonite because Steelix has that super effective Dragon Tail damage that it could deal. In this scenario, I tried to swap the catch for a superpower. I waited a turn, but the visual of the game didn't allow me to see how many Thunder Shocks there were at. So when I clicked it, it was too late. The next time I tried to swap to catch another superpower, at that point I was stuck in the middle of my Dragon Tail. This time I couldn't even swap because I was definitely stuck in the middle of my Dragon Tail, and they were double debuffed, so these superpowers are only doing so much damage. But at this point now, I'm going to throw another Crunch, and it's super debuffed, doesn't even take out. We're still trying to catch. Apparently I missed the Moltres button to swap, and that's like 3 failed catches because I'm running goddamn 3-turn move Steelix, and that loses me the match. If I just swap on time in any of those circumstances, I would have won the match, and it would have been a satisfying dub to have a fantastic catch to end this collection of battles. But on that note, let me know what you thought of the battles. Let me know what you think about this wing attack buff. In general, I think it was hype, very well needed for the meta. Flying types have been really popping off, and these are the types of things that you want from season to season. You want to see new mons get good, and then you want to see what spicy mons you can have fun with, like today's feature, Shadow Moltres. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Preach!